I've got time to put my makeup on before you record.
Too late.
Too late. All right. So thanks for joining. Again, I just want to preface by saying you guys will be the first batch of authors who are doing this. So thank you for being part of this. The idea behind this course, if you can see my screen, is that it's been built to sort of introduce authors to our system, as well as to build basic competencies in using the content builder system by practicing on the other side. So Lindsay and Dave, just to show you, so Alan's gone through the materials already, and these really shouldn't be too foreign to you. It just talks really about the MLU platform, how we've got a content builder, and how we've got a learning portal. Talks about working with the MLU. So talks about how, as an academy, what your responsibilities are, and what MLU does as well on the other side, which basically covers the various phases of how we will deliver a project. Yeah. So where it starts to get interesting is, okay, so this definition is icons. Where it starts to get more relevant is, of course, this area here, the cross mapping, which I'm sure everyone around is familiar with, and also accessing the system. So here we start talking about how the content builder is accessed, a little bit notes on internet access as well, regarding connectivity, and ultimately how to access the content builder through the learning portal, which I'm sure the three of you are extremely familiar. The couple of other snippets down here talk about basically using the content builder. So I won't go into these because these are purely reflecting the tasks. So I might jump straight into task one. The way this course is created is whenever an academic is enrolled into this course, so when you guys get access, we will also be giving you access to two other courses. One other course, which is the Content Builder Playpen. So that's a course that's been set up to allow authors to go in to have a space to practice. And that's open on this side here. So this, on the right-hand side, I've got the Playpen open, and this is Alan's task. So what I'm hoping after this is, and we're trying to make this standard across MLU, is for you guys to go in and just complete a task and have them as completed on the Playpen. And from there, we'll just verify on the system that you've completed everything, and you basically completed what you need to know before you start writing. Task one, very simple. So this is basically telling you to get into the content builder. So what you need to do in this task, in this set of tasks, is to have on two sides, one browser each. So one side with the knowledge component, one side with the actual content builder Playpen. So you want to be in the content builder for this, and you look for the Playpen. So you can see here, yeah, so you will see this on the content builder. Means you have editorial access to it. You'll be able to enter it, and I believe you'll be able to see one tutorial because you've been assigned to that tutorial. And this is the space where you actually do these tasks. So task one, it's a very simple set of tasks. So this one just gets you to change to the content builder to get used to that. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. And to rename the tutorial. So very basically, just to rename this tutorial. And that's something Alan has done here. Very simple, and that really covers, it then tells you to create a learning unit, name it task, which Alan has done here as well, and to open the learning unit to see the content page. Very simple. I'm sure the three of you are familiar with this. Do you have any questions on task one? No?
I've got a really basic IT question. I know this sounds incredibly basic and is a bit embarrassing.
Totally all right.
You've got Safari open as the browser for this.
Yes.
So actually, no, I've got two questions. One, do you have any thoughts about whether Safari is better than Chrome for this?
Chrome is better than Safari. Okay. Chrome is better.
So my next question is, you've actually got two browsers open.
Yeah.
So within each browser, you've got a couple of pages open.
Yeah.
Again, it's an incredibly basic question.
No.
But when I try and open up a separate browser, like if I click on Google Chrome second time, it just opens another page within the one browser.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So what you can do.
Sorry, Lindsay, I had this exact same problem.
Okay, so you and I are both
there are a few ways.
neophiles or whatever I don't want to call us, but I get it, and I just wondered how have you managed to do that?
There are a few ways to do it. So if you're on, okay, I'm going to open Chrome. Right,
so it's not as dumb a question as it sounds.
No, I couldn't do it yesterday.
It comes up. It does come up. So I've got Chrome here in front of me. A few ways you can do it, right? So you can add a new tab. You can so you know how to do that. And what you can do is you can actually left click and drag this tab out, and then you can drag it out to the side, and now you've got two windows. That's one option.
You can drag.
Or if you're on here on Chrome, you can press Command. So you see, if you click on File, it says New Windows Command and N. I think for Windows it's a bit different. So if I press Command and N, it brings up a new browser as well. So that's another option. And ultimately here you can click on File when you're in Chrome and click New Window too, and that will also bring up a new option. So there are a few ways. Yeah. It will work for Internet Explorer too, Alan. So if you're here, I think you've got a start button.
I've been using Chrome anyway.
Yeah. So that's how you do that. And then, just put it side by side so you can get both views there.
Excellent. That's actually going to increase my work productivity quite significantly with all sorts of things I'm currently doing.
That's perfectly fine. No worries.
Lindsay, have you got a Mac? Have you got a Mac, Lindsay?
Yeah.
If you're in Chrome, you go up to File.
Yeah.
And then do New Window.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know these are incredibly embarrassing basic things.
That's all right.
But, I've got two screens, and I'm trying to drag stuff around on screen.
Yeah. It's good to have two different devices with screens. It's even better.
Yeah.
Unless you're copying and pasting.
Yeah. So I've got mine side by side, which isn't the best, but if you've got two screens, it's even better. But great. I'm happy with that. So
great, thanks for that.
No worries. So that's task 1. Very simple. So task 2. This now goes into basically adding a new learning unit, calling it a different task, and adding some text to it. So in a content builder playpen, add a new learning unit for task 2. So that's here. So Alan's added this one. He selected a learning unit template and opened the learning unit. So so you can, I'm sure 3 of you are familiar with this too. Alan, let me know if this is something you're not familiar with, but you are able to use these 2 lines.
Drag it.
Right. Yeah.
And you can delete what you don't want, and you can add an extra snippet in.
That's right. So what it says here is to select the template, you've opened it, so you can drag stuff around. So if I move this, for example, so say I did art on this art, so you can actually move stuff around like that. So it's just basically showing you that functionality, and also the fact that you can delete snippets as well, right? Yeah. So you can type in knowledge. You can copy text to be pasted in there. And it talks about changing the headings, which you have done here as well. So that's great.
Yeah.
And lastly, it talks about using a preview function, which for new authors, this is actually something we need to reinforce because the preview function is probably the most useful function for you. Fantastic. So I think this is quite simple. So the last bit here talks about using the formatting option. So over here, you've obviously got a few different formatting options you can use. Just getting familiar, looking at the fact that you can use bold, italicize, all of that stuff there. And place justification is the last thing. So that's something you can also do in here as well by increasing the indents. Any question on this task?
What did I say? I had any questions at the bottom there of my
Oh, you have. Oh, yeah. So I have. This is actually Harsh. So I think I'll double check later and see.
Actually, I can bring. Actually,
if you got,
it'll probably be up on mine, wouldn't it? Still, if I.
It will be there, yeah. So if you want to
check if I have any questions, you keep going.
Yeah. So that's task 2, Lindsay, Dave. We'll just zoom into task 3. And again, Lindsay, any questions? If whatever you like to ask, you can feel free. So task 3 talks a little bit further.
So in task 2, even at task 2, when I was getting into that area of that box where you change to bold and the different headings and all those other extra things, something weird was happening on my computer where it's visibly shaking.
Okay. Yes. So that happens when...
And it just kept happening time and time again, each time I was going down tasks. I had to click the area multiple times to stop it from shaking.
You mean what's happening now on my screen?
Yeah, like that.
So this is something that's a known issue with the system. So where the window is too small, it's too narrow, it starts doing that movement. So how you fix it is you would just widen it a bit.
Okay.
Then it's still, it'll
Okay, I
to
get
one
that
of
now.
stop.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's
Or,
just a
or use
little
a
bit
second
sensitive.
device. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Or
you
a
just got to
second
widen it
screen
out.
and move the whole window somewhere, the second window into the other screen.
Yeah, so that's a possibility too. If you've got two screens.
Is there a way of, because it's a bit of a nuisance, are they working on trying to fix that, or that's not fixable?
Yeah.
That problem?
That's something that's on our pipeline to be fixed. It's
Yeah.
just a little bit annoying. So we're looking into it. It's one of our
Okay.
IT team's tasks. But in the meantime, you can drag it out like that. Yeah.
That's
Okay,
really
thanks
good
for that.
to bring up.
Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
That was the only question I had on that one. Yeah.
Lovely. All right. We'll just move to task 3 now.
Yeah.
So this one, very simple, task 3. So I'll just go back to Alan's task 3 here. Yeah, you've copied the website in. Yep. Yeah, okay. So Alan, I see what you've done here. So
Couldn't do the hyperlink bit. I couldn't
Yeah.
get the blue thing to go up as a hyperlink. I couldn't
that's
work
all
out how
right.
to
So
do
yeah,
that.
that's fine. So
Yeah.
this is perfect. So what you've done here, you've got this link which you want to make a hyperlink, right?
Yeah.
So what you will need to do is actually to copy this link. So I've just copied it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to delete now. So I've already copied it, right? And where you want to hyperlink, so you want to say, okay, say you want to make this whole thing a hyperlink. You would highlight that
Okay.
higher line, click on hyperlink.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can then paste the other link that I've copied into that space and tick.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
now you can see when you preview, this is now a hyperlink. So I click on that, it opens into the website. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. I was looking for I don't know how I missed it. I was looking for that damn icon everywhere, and it was like immediately. It feels so stupid. It was immediately above the actual, area, and I just totally missed it.
See, this is great feedback though, Alan, because one thing we can do, and we can look to improve this material here is to maybe.
Because you know why? Because it's a bit. It's sometimes like you're not quite sure under what heading it's on, because you know how there's that sort of frame that has the play in it up at the top on the right says multimedia.
Yeah.
And then you're sort of thinking sometimes, well, multi, and then you've got other on the left side with that, was it the plus or something that allows you to add multimedia?
Yeah. So that's something I can help to clarify. So it's a little bit confusing because you are right, Alan. You can add, it says multimedia in this snippet, but here
it's a new one, isn't it? It gives you a totally different box.
Yeah, but in this default snippet, you can also add YouTube videos. And what I would say is that this multimedia snippet is for images and videos that you have on your computer at this point in time. So that's for images and videos that you have locally that you want to put and make available. If it's a YouTube video or if it's a Vimeo video, any other video which is hosted on a website where you would actually access a website, that is then hosted in here.
Okay.
So this one. So yeah, that's a great point. And that's something that's a little bit confusing because there are two ways to put in videos. If it's a YouTube video, it's like this. You can't put in a YouTube video using this multimedia snippet.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good point to raise. All right, I'll just keep going with this.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. So we've got the hyperlink here. That's fantastic. And you can actually click on it. We've done that. That works. We've gone back to edit mode and Alan's added this new YouTube video. Yeah, and that's done by, as you're aware, if you just discussed, by pasting a link in here and selecting save. And then the YouTube video here as well. Lindsay and Dave, any questions so far? No. Yeah.
No, but I'm glad I'm seeing this because when I go and actually do these tasks, I will have seen it before I actually read them. And, I haven't done hyperlinks or YouTube videos in any of the material I've done. So it's good to see this actually in action. That's great.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, this YouTube video URL, we paste the media and then it appears. So I'll grab one more video just to give an example.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube. Is that a new movie, Alan?
It's a trailer for one of the Disney Plus Star Wars series coming out.
Yeah. I don't know that was coming out. All right. So again, with YouTube, you just add a new snippet. Again, I'm adding a new snippet now, so that appears. Oops, that should appear at the bottom. Yeah, and I've copied the URL link, and now what I do is I'll just paste in here and do that. And you preview, you can see that it's now incorporated.
Cool.
Yeah, if I want to remove it, very simple. Just click on it, backspace, and that's gone. And you can put it in
that's simple. Yeah,
very simple.
So,
could you do the bin?
Just a general question about this. I mean, again, this is perhaps not specifically related to this particular session, but is there any UEG process policy about using YouTube videos or vice versa, YouTube videos being used in our material? Because this is not a concept that I've come across before.
Yeah, no, good point. In general, as far as I understand, we need to double check with Liz. Publicly available videos on YouTube, Vimeo, those are considered on the public domain, and those are, so you can make those available to students as long as you acknowledge where it's come from, etc.
Yeah.
So what it would be like, so say for example, this just pretend this is like, you know, this video I've put in here, right?
Yeah.
You want to then basically go next and create appropriate titling acknowledgements. So say this would be lo-fi, so you have the lo-fi hip hop radio, whatever it's called, and then it will be source. You know, you have the actual so you actually have the actual link itself as the source, and then you want to possibly acknowledge the creator as well. So that's part of Melbourne Uni policy, where it's publicly available. So it's something that's on a public domain. You can include it, but you need to appropriately reference the materials.
Is there a guideline that we can look at to actually say how you do that acknowledgement appropriately?
Yeah, there is.
Like how much information, what's the minimum amount of information you would be expected to attach to the video?
Yeah, we've got some best practices throughout the graduate certificate. So Lindsay, you know how we've got a grad cert or some other courses, we've got some, the title, the source, and the title, the caption, and the source. So that's how you would do it normally. The format, it's a matter of how you format the source. So that's something I'll have to confirm for you. I can't quite remember the exact.
Yeah, I'm both Alan and I, but perhaps David as well, just interested in exploring that, because whether it's for this particular course we're doing this for the medical students, and I know it's part of Colin's philosophy that, you know, why are we reinventing the wheel when there's a lot of stuff out here that we should be mainly sort of coordinating and collating for people. And I know there's a lot of people that I've spoken to around the world, and I'm sure same with you and Alan and David, that would quite happily, you know, allow their stuff to be reproduced. A little bit of sensitivity to the idea of we're actually making money from it, I get it. But in the big scheme of things, being able to use YouTube videos with appropriate recognition would actually be fantastic.
Yeah, that's something we might actually look to include in here, and maybe the later learning block on how you can actually properly reference, you know, all these external. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you.
We can revisit that, what the appropriate recognition and referencing should be. That'd be good.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good thought. Thank you. We'll get back to you on that.
So guys, there is some content on that, I think, in the Radical Flip Classroom.
Okay.
And
okay. Oh, good.
There.
Thanks.
And he highly suggests using original material wherever possible. But where you think something's, you know, quite critical, to check and see whether it's available for publishing. And if you're not sure, just to send it through to the team. And I think Lacey might be involved in that, and she can actually modify it for you using her graphical computer skills.
So basically, if you're unable to find something, one thing we can potentially do is Lacey, because she can redraw stuff, remove the copyright issue if she redraws it.
If you think it's really critical, like if it's a position statement, flowchart, for example, that everybody follows.
So that's something that can be done. But of course,
and there is a Amazon or Google site that actually says that these can be used freely for publication. And that's referenced to in the Radical.
Okay. I'll go back and have a look again. Okay, thanks for that, David.
With art, let's say there's an article, a relevant study. Now, it's a little, it's a bit different to the normal thing, because I mean, not that I do research, but David and Lindsay would, I'm sure, know better than me. But you know, if you've got a bibliography of references, you're not actually providing the articles to the person that's reading your article. You're just saying these are the source material. It's up to you whether you can access it or not. But
so what you do
in this course, it's possible we've got an article that we want the students to specifically read. How do you determine whether you have the author's permission to post that? Because a lot of time when we go into articles, we're getting special access because we're through a hospital or a university, whereas everyone else would have to pay for it.
Absolutely right.
That's a really good question.
In this case, this is a Melbourne Uni subject you'll be writing. So it's contextual as well, right? So Melbourne Uni subject means that Melbourne Uni students are doing it, which implies that they have access to those articles too, through the Melbourne Uni system. So the way you access them, they would have similar access. So it's a different matter for other courses. If the course will be delivered to non-Melbourne Uni students, then yes, they won't have that same level of access as you to the article, if you get where I'm coming from.
So we wouldn't necessarily need to post the article. We would only need to post some, just the actual author and study name, and then it's up to the student to find the article.
Well,
the best thing you can do, Alan, is to actually find the URL link on PubMed.
Yeah.
And then you could use that as a hyperlink.
Yeah.
I would say, Nick, that in general, you're correct, but actually, for instance, I was looking for a specific ultrasound article the other day, and I have access to the Deakin Uni the Deakin University Library, which I'm sure is not that much different to the medical, the Melbourne University of Melbourne Medical Library for its students and postgraduates and teachers and staff. And I couldn't actually find the article despite extensive searching, and I had to go and find it a different way. So there are some journals and some articles that I'm sure aren't necessarily within the purchase of the university.
Sure, and I think it depends on the subscriptions the university has as well. So that's another interesting point to raise there. That goes.
The other thing you can do, Alan, is find the paper on Google Scholar.
Yeah.
And often they have like a link to a free access.
Okay.
And that's just a public available URL that you can then insert as a hyperlink.
Yeah. So that's an option too. So I mean,
that'll automatically appear if the paper's open access. So for some of the proper journals, the author actually pays money for it to be open access so that everyone can access it without any subscription.
Yeah.
And Google.
I suppose that in principle, it would be better if at all possible to find things that we know are open access and free and all that. That's just going to make everyone's life easier.
I find Google Scholar the best way of doing that. But if you're not sure, don't worry. Just put it in, because it'll come back to the editor or the young person who's overseeing the whole thing. For example, if you want to put some papers in, just put them in. And then we can do those checks for you.
There would be editorial staff or whatever that could potentially contact the author if necessary and make sure it's okay to publish it.
So leave that for the academic, director who's overseeing.
Editor, they'll check.
Yeah, to make it easy for you, just include it.
Yeah, that'll be easier. Then I don't have to worry about it so much.
Don't worry about it.
I just want to say hi to Harsh, who seems to have joined us. Hello, Harsh, if you can hear us. Harsh,
I can. Hey, sorry. It's been valuable eavesdropping for the last few minutes.
Sorry. We're recording this meeting, Harsh. So I'll send you the link to this after so you can see at the start. What we're doing is we're talking through the tasks. Yeah,
perfect. Thanks.
Yeah. No worries. So I'll just skip along now because I want to make sure we go through all these items. So what this then talks about here is inserting media, about inserting an image. And then it says after you've inserted an image, you can then, Colin says, press enter twice and add a caption. So literally what he means is you have this image, press enter, and then you can add in a little caption at the bottom, like what I've done here. That's how you can actually, so you can see how now this video has its bolded title. So it's something you can actually do to make content present better. So you can actually, what I've done is literally added the video, press enter once, and I went and aligned to the middle and I typed in, the title of the video.
Okay.
So, and then I made it bold. And that looks really good when you actually preview it because you can see that this video has got a title and it's got the actual source link underneath it as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So that's what Colin's talking about here. So Harsh, just want to say,
so can I just make one quick comment about referencing? Unlike writing research papers for publication in manuscripts, we're writing educational stuff. And so what the chap that I did when I first started writing these was I treated it like a literature review. And I sort of
you might cut off, Dave.
I think Dave might be frozen.
Yeah.
Like ABC, do this, that, and the other, and then only want to put in, you know, like a few, maybe 5 or absolutely maximum 10 references of only the actual critically important publications. We don't want to have the thing full of references, you know, full of publications like a paper.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah,
because the students can
please resist
read around the topic, can't they?
Yeah, please resist the urge. We want to try and make it as little content really as possible. We used to have the concept of having more is better, but now we've found that people just want to, they have limited time to do things, and they just want to get through the online learning and get into the hands-on type.
References can be organized.
It can save you a lot of time, Alan and Lindsay, if you just try and keep that in mind, so you don't have to be disappointed when it gets reviewed and we decided to cut a whole lot of references out because we don't want to give them too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm just going to go through the last learning block, in this learning block 1. Again, a very simple one. What this learning block talks about is deleting snippets, adding videos, and adding file attachments. So it just explores the functionality of the other snippets here. Create a new learning unit task 4, and it's done that, and he's deleted the assessment snippet. So yep, you've deleted one snippet from that. Great. Added a media carousel and have a small video which you've uploaded. So that's step 5 here. So you've added this media carousel snippet, and you've now uploaded videos. You can preview that and view this video. Fantastic. It's all in there and it's working. Excellent. So after you've uploaded, yes, you can change the name. And I also want to say that if you can actually set it to autoplay and auto loop. So if it's an ultrasound video, by clicking on auto loop, it makes it just repeat.
Oh, that's good. That's very functional.
Yeah. So that's quite good to know. Preview to see it works. We have seen that it does work, and now we return to edit, add a new snippet, add new file attachment, which is this one here we've added. So you've dropped in a PDF. Yep. So the way this would work, just to show, is you add a new file attachment.
Yeah.
Drops this straight away. You can click on that, and you can literally choose. What you want to add. I'm just going to upload this.
Yeah.
So it uploads the file. It appears here. So as you can see, you can actually have more than one file as well. And you can obviously rename this file to whatever you need it to be.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So now we can go to preview, and you can see it's both are there. Fantastic. And that really is learning block 1. It just talks about how to use these.
Hi,
snippets.
I'm Alan Whitehead, and I'm going to be talking to you.
Is that me? Sorry, here you go.
That's right. So that's learning block 1. Is there any questions you might have on this? If you have questions that come up after, happy to just let me know. We can.
So I said one quick question.
Yeah.
When the media carousel first came out, I was encouraged by the team to lump lots of figures and videos into the learning carousel. But I found that when I used the learning portal to review it, and I was reading other courses, quite often I'd just see one video thing, and I'd watch the first one, and I thought there was only one there.
Hi,
so then I
kept
then I'd keep scrolling down and I read the rest of the material, and then it would say, it would refer back to a video that I was supposed to have already seen.
Yeah.
And it kept on happening and happening and happening. Yeah. And then I realized, there was actually 5 or 6 videos in there. Yeah. And there's this tiny little arrow that you have to click on to go to the next video.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I did was when I started writing more content, I decided to just put only one figure or video in a carousel, and if I wanted to do a second one, then I'd actually do a new one. So that way I made sure the student didn't miss an important one. Yeah, you can see there how this.
Yeah, so it's very small at the bottom, isn't it? You can't really tell. So what you can do, Dave, you can do what you've done, but again, if you've got like 20 videos in a row, it's going to look really messy. So what you can do, right, is in the snippet reading the videos, you can say, please watch the 2 videos below. Now you've told us that there are 2 videos below, right?
Yeah, so, and maybe actually say you toggle between the videos by selecting the different.
Yeah, and that's something you can do as well. I mean, students are pretty intuitive, and they will like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they will write to us if they see 2 videos and, they can't find that's when they contact support. But this is so absolutely, you can split it. That's one option. But if you've got like 10 videos, it's not going to look good anymore. It's going to be very long. So this is where you can say, watch the 10 videos below,
Can you put videos side by side like you can on a PowerPoint presentation, or they have to be one under the other?
So, Alan, so in here, they're actually side by side. So this particular snippet, you can actually have as many videos as you like. You can have, so the problem Dave was saying is that once you have more than one item, it's not very clear that there's more than one. So that's why I'm saying that, you can actually split. So have more than one media carousel, multimedia snippet.
Just have like 2. So they won't be side by side, Alan. They'll be above each other. So they'll be
above each other.
One there and then one below. And then you keep scrolling down and you keep seeing more.
So the other option is to create some signposting. Tell the student, please watch the 2 videos below, and then it's really clear.
That's the best way, isn't it?
So that's something you can do as well there. All right. So
did you show them, Nick, how to do the how to do the figure headings on the videos and the figure
headings? So you can actually, it talks about it here. Change the file name, previously it works. So that's done here. So you can actually change the video file name and name it whatever you like. And
if you've got a figure, you can actually just click on the figure and then start typing the figure subheading.
What figure?
So if you have just insert a figure, you can click on the figure down below and just type in the title. It doesn't matter. It's just a shortcut way of doing it. It's not a big thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but in answer to your question, Alan, I don't think you can put them side by side.
No, it has to be on top of each other.
Okay.
I'm going to skip down to block 2. Just the last 40 minutes. Block 2 is much shorter. So block 2 is actually more optimized because it's actually really targeted to certain things. All right. So block 2 talks about basically, the first one is making your content look good. So it talks about using a preview icon. As we know, the preview icon being this one here gives you the student view. So it's very effective to showing what your content looks like. Colin then goes and discusses about typos.
Hi, I'm Alan Whitehead.
Oops, sorry.
And I'm going to be...
That's going to happen a few more times, I think.
Hearing you, don't we all hate hearing our own voices? It's just so terrible.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's not great.
Painful.
So just here, authors can actually install a free version of Grammarly. So on Chrome, this is why it's effective, because Chrome has an extension of Grammarly that you can easily install. Once you install the extension, it then becomes a feature you can use on the learning portal. So benefit to using Chrome. So
it took me a second go to do that, but I've managed to do that.
Good.
I think it was because I added it in. Like, I just thought if I added it in general to my computer, it's going to attach itself to the learning module site, but you actually had to open it sort of in the same browser or like.
So we should clarify on that as well. We should actually say that this is it's the free browser, it's the browser add-in. So yeah, good point. Thanks, Alan. That's something we wouldn't normally pick up.
It's not like I'd opened it like if I had Chrome. If I had 2 Chrome browsers open and I opened it in the Chrome browser that didn't have the Melbourne Uni learning on it, and I opened it in the other one that had my email on it, and then I said add tab, Grammarly, did the not sign on, but the free access thing. Then I just made this assumption that, well, it's still Chrome. They're both Chrome browsers. Therefore, it should automatically occur for the Melbourne Uni website as well. But then I realized it wasn't working. So I thought, maybe you actually have to do a tab when you've got the Melbourne Uni side of the Chrome browser open. I'm not explaining it very well, but it was sort of
I think I understand where you're coming from. We can clarify the language around this.
Alan, have you installed it? Have you installed it into Chrome?
It's working now. As I said, I tried it doing it a different way, and in Chrome.
It's in Chrome, yeah. You can also install it manually into Word as well, which I use.
Yeah, so
I think it asked me. It asked me to do Word as well, so I said yes.
Yeah.
So there are different plugins. The one to make it work for the content builder is the Chrome plugin.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's really
So-
good. It's really good in Word.
Yeah, just going to bring us down. This is not too complex. So take a quick look at view. This is just Colin's little cheat sheet of basically the ability for authors to use style classes to actually make the content look good. So you can see here, there are a few different style classes. So this is signposting to students. You can actually include certain colors. So this yellow color is an example style class. That's hint, it's outcomes, case study, reflect, box, and so on. So we'll go into the task about, and I'll show you how that works exactly. But this
Nick, is that all of the options? Those four?
Yes, there's more than four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options.
Six,
so this is where if you're writing a subject, it's good to have a level of consistency across your tutorials. So you know what are you looking at as blue? What are you looking at as a box? Because you have different authors now. You want to make sure you're consistent throughout to get the same student experience. Yep.
Okay.
So adding images or media files to break up the text. So Colin's a big fan, and I agree as well. So large chunk of text here doesn't look very good. You add some images, breaks it up, creates that.
That's great.
Yeah. So yes, what we're doing
here.
Yeah. So adjust spacing by hitting enter, return. So again, just with spacing, he just talks about how you can use spacing to make it look a bit better. I'd say use this with discretion. I would disagree using like 4 spaces after a snippet. It's a bit large, the space. What I would say is that the idea here is to make not just the content look good, but consistent. So whenever you're using, when you're using images, spacing, whatever you're using, consistency is key. Last but not least, headings, right? So this is something we talked about in the previous blog as well. You can use different types of headings. So these are the different headings you have. Again, consistency is key. Goes back to the course mapping. What's your tutorial? That should be heading 1. Then your sub points and learning units within the tutorial would have, the sub points within the learning unit of the tutorial would be in heading 2, and then the hierarchy then breaks down and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Nick, in the old version of this tutorial, it had a rule that you only use heading 1 for the title of the learning unit, and then everything after that was either heading 2
so that's preferred.
That's still the case because I couldn't. It's been taken out of the.
So Colin's been a bit freer in using that, but I would say heading 1 for the learning unit title, please, would be ideal.
And then just use heading 2.
Below that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So very simple stuff, but I think this is a very useful learning unit for you to refer back to if you ever want to see, how you can improve your content. The next one talks about tracking changes and comments. So we have a new feature now on our system to track changes and comments. This is information on it. I won't talk through it right now. I'll show you on the task side. The next one is publishing a learning unit. So this talks about after you've made your content look good, you've reviewed each other's work, you're happy for it to be published, what needs to happen. So again, it's very short. It just shows you how to publish the learning unit, and we'll go into it in tasks over here. Okay. And last but not least, this is what you're probably most interested in, Dave. It's versioning. So how we can create a version of an existing learning unit and then make updates to it. This one, there's a degree of complexity because we have 2 types of updates, right? We have dynamic and full updates. So we need to clarify the language around this, but the difference is that, we've got students who are currently in courses. So we've got an award course student right now who's doing a course. If we have a student who's done an award course and we go and update their assessment question, so if you go in and update an assessment question that someone else has done, it would render that previous person's question invalid, so to speak. So it would affect the previous students' questions. So with updates, I just want to clarify that it's a simple system to use if you want to update text, hyperlinks, anything but assessments. So when it becomes an assessment question update, that's where it becomes a full update, because then anytime you change an assessment question, you will affect the previous learner. So it won't affect the new cohort, because once you make an assessment question update and you publish it, the new cohort that gets enrolled will see the latest questions. If I was the previous cohort, I'd see my old question because I'd already submitted a question. That's the question that I submitted to be, to have my results locked in. So that's a very quick 30-second explanation on dynamic versus full. There's a little bit more nuance to it, but we'll talk through it in the task section here. So jumping to task, all right, I think Alan, you're still in this, but that's all right. So task 1, open a different browser along in the learning portal. Yeah, so similarly, it's just telling college is saying, please set it up so you've got, the window side by side. In the second browser, change to the content builder. So let's just go into the content builder to this side here. Change the title of the tutorial. Yeah, so it's another very basic thing. It's just asked to change the title again, add another learning unit, which Alan has done over here. Any questions so far? Just specifically, no, this should be fine.
I just had a quick question, Nick, about versioning.
Yeah.
Are you going to come to that next, or?
Yeah. So we'll go to versioning at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, okay, no worries. I'll ask you.
Yeah.
I'll ask you then. That's all right.
So that one's a very simple one, right? So it's a basic task there that can be done. Task 2, yeah, so using Grammarly. So this is basically, yeah. So we go to task 2 here that Alan's creates it. In your content builder, type in, copy paste some text, change the style of the text. So yeah, the styles can be changed. Oops, stretch that out. Yep. Then you can, this is where you can use the different style headings to get the heading, the hierarchy, right? Media item, insert them in 2 snippets of text. So, okay. So what this means here is, so Colin's envisioning, I'm just going to copy this text here. So this is basically the insertion of media between text, right? So say you have this 2 bits of text like that. You will want to, so assume this is different paragraphs. You can insert the snippet, put it in the middle, and then drop an image in this snippet here so that you can break up. I don't have a good image, unfortunately. Let's just put
So you would rather do it. Hang on.
So
you would rather create multiple snippets.
Yes.
Put a paragraph in each, and then is that snippet in the middle?
Just an image by itself.
An image snippet or whatever it's called.
It's
multimedia and add multimedia snippet or.
Yep. So this is a normal.
Be better off doing that, like, because one way of doing it, isn't it, is to have one snippet open.
Yeah.
And then sort of expand it when you're typing so you can see what you're doing, and have 3 points, have a gap of a few, by enter, then another 3 points, and then insert something in between that, which I think what the tutorial's asking you to do, versus you've done it a different, like you've done it an alternative way, which is create multiple snippets, divide the content up between 2 snippets, and then insert an image in between.
Yeah. So you can see here, insert a picture media item between 2 snippets of text.
Because I didn't quite get what that meant. I wasn't. I actually thought it was. Create 2 paragraphs within the same snippet and then try and insert something in between.
Yeah. So I get it.
I probably wasn't reading it the right way.
No, that's right. And the reason why we asked for this is because in the future, the plan for the learning portal is for us, MLU, to be able to link snippets directly, so we can actually have a URL directly to a certain snippet, and that will allow students to refer to certain bits of information directly to the academic. So that implies that there needs to be a better breakdown of the snippet. So if you have a massive snippet with 10 paragraphs in it, that's not much use, for the student to refer to. You're not going to get much out of it. So it is better practice to have more snippets, breaking them out into smaller chunks of information, because that will allow deep linking to work better in the future as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It makes it easier to edit too if they're smaller, because when they're really long, sometimes you have to scroll up and down within the snippet.
Yeah.
And the other practical tip I found too is that if you add a new snippet, it automatically attaches it at the very end of your learning. And if you then insert a big media file or a picture, often I find it impossible to drag that new media file up the screen, up where I want to put it in. It just won't allow you to do it.
Okay.
Like this.
So what I found the way to overcome that is when you add a new snippet or a new media carousel, first of all, before you upload the file, just move it to where you want it to go.
Before you attach the file.
Before you upload it. Yeah, otherwise you find sometimes users won't be able to do it, and you might get frustrated.
Yeah, I've had that problem, David.
Okay. That's good.
I had another question. Is sometimes you can't add any more snippets, and
Yes.
Wondering, is that a word limit on a tutorial, or is it the number of snippets, or what is it?
Number of snippets. So if you have that issue, let me know and I will speak to IT, because there's that they've limited it to, I think, to 100 or something, or 150. I can't remember what, but let me know if you have limitations and you need more, because that's something we can raise to them.
The thing to remember there, Lindsay, is that if you've got so many snippets that you're maxing out, then you really should be thinking about breaking that.
No, I totally agree with
down
you.
into smaller
I got so
learning.
much information for in the first place. I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, if you break it down into like a number of learning units, because Colin says it's a attention span of 5 or 8 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And so if your learning unit that you're doing is like more than 8 minutes, then you really should think about breaking it up into 2 separate ones.
Yeah, the diploma was automatically turned into this format, and then in coming along and looking at slightly tweaking some of the words or trying to explain things a little bit better, I've run into this problem of it's automatically jam-packed already with whatever because as you know, historically over the years, people have just added stuff, which is perfectly normal, but the
like textbooks, size. Review.
The change that we've got to make now is say, hang on, what can we actually take out? It's anyway, not so much related to
the other really important tip for this project that we're all working on together is that most of the material I'm hoping we'll be able to get from existing material. And so what we'll do is, I'll nominate which courses I think you might want to get stuff out of, but if you know there are other courses that you want to get material off, just let Nick know and he can enroll you in those things. And the easiest way, it's really easy to copy and paste videos and images from other courses. You hover over the video, and there's on the bottom right hand corner there's something you can select that'll download the video.
Yeah, so if you
download it to your download folder.
Upload it.
And then you go to your content builder that you're building, and you just do upload and upload it from your downloads folder, and it should be there. And that's normally quite quick. The other thing too that's actually really important is the videos are often too big.
Yeah,
videos are too big.
I need to
move on.
So I've got 6 minutes and I've got another meeting. So I just really want to cover this, but you're right. Media too big, that's also an issue. So let us know if that's an issue, because what we can do is potentially break it up for you.
Handbrake. Free download works very easy to use.
Sorry, I just want to go through this too. I actually will go through tracking changes and commenting, and then Dave, I'll come back to you and discuss this really quickly, versioning, because I've got 5 minutes to do this, and
I've done versioning. You don't need to go over that for me. I'm good.
All right. So versioning is not something you'll need for this immediate project anyway. It's for updating future materials that's published. So we'll just go through these last 2 tasks here. Use track changes and commenting. So this is a new feature. I'm going to use this learning unit, and what this feature is, it's basically the same as Word, where you can track changes and comment on materials. So where that's hidden is it's in these 3 dots at the end. And please note that this feature, you need to turn it on for each learning unit you want it to, to be relevant for. So if I want to track changes for text in here, I need to go here.
Excuse my ignorance, Nicholas. What is H5? It had me bemused. What does H5P stand for?
Those are interactivities. So MLU can build certain interactive activities that students can then, like drag and drops or.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so that's.
But we don't need to use it for anything we're doing really at the moment.
You can include that. So that can be something that can be discussed as part of the scoping when we discuss the sort of like the breakdown of the course. But at this point in time, I don't think that's been confirmed yet, has it, Dave?
Say again?
H5Ps. Interactivity in your course. Are we?
Those little digital things.
Yeah.
Like puzzles and stuff like that. Yeah, I asked Colin about that, and he says it requires some fancy software. He encouraged you to do it, but he said that our MLU team will do it for us.
Yes. So
if you just write down what sort of thing you want to do and just provide a bit of graphic example of something.
Okay.
Then
I'll let you do that.
Nice to have. So
just write down in text you want to do one, and just describe in words what you want to do, and maybe insert a couple of pictures or graphics, and then someone will get back to you.
Yeah, well, one of the project can get back to you, but basically it's a nice to have for any first version of a course. It's something we can look to build in more over time. So I would advise you to look at the content first, where when you've done the content, we can then look at it to see where we can improve it with interactivity.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so just track changes. I've turned it on, and now you can see that if I make any changes to the text, I delete that, you can see it turns red.
Okay.
If I add extra stuff, I added something.
Okay.
It's green. So this allows you to review each other's work, because you can then go in and sort of make track changes and comment each other's work like that. You can also add comments. So if you highlight, say, if I highlight that, I can add a comment thing and say, you can see this text bubble here.
Any plans going out?
So comment 1 is something I've added. Oops. Comment 1, which you can actually view in here. That's not a great example, but you can actually comment 1. So you can actually put in comments to be recorded.
Tell me how you did that again.
So you just got to highlight the text.
Okay.
Want to comment on, click the 3 dots, and click on comment.
Oh, that one. Yep. Okay. Okay.
And then obviously you can click on existing comments to delete them, accept them.
So when you preview, the comments won't appear, but the changes will appear?
Yes. So when you preview something with an added text, it's going to take it as, it's going to accept all the changes. So you can see if I preview this now, it's got the added something here, right? Okay. But if I then go in here and reject this and I preview it, it's gone.
Okay.
So, so that's a feature to use as well. Last but not least, I just want to say publish a learning unit. So this is when you're ready. Obviously, we're at the stage where we're creating content. So publishing a learning unit, basically once you're happy with everything, you've accepted all your changes, you've made sure everything's referenced, your images are all in, your assessments are all there. This is the submit for review button, and then you can then publish. So right now it's saying there's comments, so you can't publish. But if there were no comments, you press publish, and that would make the thing live. I would say for this development, put it to submit it for review when you're done, and MLU will do final checks before you do a publish at this point. Thanks very much. If you have questions, please send me an email, because I do have to make the next meeting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hope this was
Thank
helpful.
you.
Harsh, this is recorded. So if you guys could, I will send the recording through to you. If you could go and have a go at the task, that would be fantastic. So it will help to build that, your confidence using the system.
And at some stages, learning block 3 going to be ready as well, is it?
Yes, and that's just a little bit more of the advanced stuff, like H5Ps, for example, being one of them. Yeah.
When do you expect we'll need to do that?
I would say it will be ready in the next month or so.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. Okay. See ya.